There are two major things that have happened in this country within this week that I feel strongly are making a huge statement as far as the William Ruto's regime is concerned. This is also in response to some of the things that are happening locally, the political activities that are happening in the country as we speak. Now, the first one, it's the statement from JB Muturi, the current cabinet secretary under the docket of public service. Now, JB Muturi, first of all, his history is that he's one of the people who has been rejected on election now and then. But the fact remains that he has always been a favorite of most of these politicians. That's Uhuru Kenyatta, because he was elected as a National Assembly Speaker, and he has also been given the role of a Attorney General by William Ruto, and he has also been given the role of the position of that he's holding right now as, of course, the Public Service Cabinet Secretary, which means there's a way he has his own political strength that most of these leaders consider very important, particularly because he comes from Embu. Now, JB Muturi, we all know that he's a close ally of Rigathi Gachagua. And actually, personally, I tell that when William Ruto dissolved the cabinet, he gave Mount Kenya slots to, he gave actually an option to Gachagua, to the option to choose the members of the people to retain, the members of the cabinet that he will retain, considering the number of, in relation to the number of dockets that he was left with, because we had 4 dear members coming on board, so Mount Kenya lost some seats from the cabinet. So Gachagua was given choices that he was supposed to make from those few chances that he had. And from what Gachagua saw, it was nice to get rid of Kuria and bring on JB Muturi, because they are close to JB Muturi. So as a result, we had Moses Kuria being thrown out of the cabinet because JB Muturi simply came to replace the PSC that was being held by Moses Kuria. So actually, in real sense, it is Gachagua who took Moses Kuria out of the cabinet, because we all know that Moses Kuria was not incompetent like most of these cabinet secretaries. But being thrown out, it was a result of what? His relationship with Gachagua. So therefore, JB Muturi was given the job by Gachagua himself, because Gachagua was given the option to choose who will retain in the cabinet, and JB Muturi was his option. Now, there was a statement that JB Muturi made at Embu. While the president was in Bungoma with mother to Wetangula, the national speaker, and Tim Wanyonyi's funeral, they also, Itungati Brigade was in Embu. And in this kind of a platform, we had very powerful statements being made there by, of course, Gachagua himself and JB Muturi. JB Muturi, to start with him, he had what he called the speech from the president to read to that family. But he was told, you said you are a part. Give the speech to the family to read by themselves. We don't want to hear anything to do with the president of Kenya. Those are the people of Embu. And remember, these are the same people that stopped President William Ruto from speaking the other time when he was given a chance in the ordination of that bishop in Embu. They stopped him completely. They shouted, booed, and the president was humiliated in the presence of Uhuru Kenyatta and, of course, Kithure Kindiki. And that's how easy it was. So therefore, they have been sending a statement now and then. Even when we had demonstration in the country against abduction, we realized that Embu was one of the counties that had demonstrations. So regarding Gachagua made very strong statement there, and that's what my basis of analysis here. By basis of analysis, you know what, it's what JB Muturi said. He said that the government cannot say that they don't know who has abducted Kenyans and who is abducting them and where they are being taken. The government must take responsibility. He also said that abductions must come to an end because they're not good for this country. Now, this statement is what actually resulted to what JB Muturi made recently on a press conference where he was asking answers from the same government he's serving. What do I mean by that? The statement made sent shockwaves to William Ruto, and as a result, I tell myself strongly that William Ruto felt that JB Muturi is time for him to leave the cabinet. And I said in another video before that JB Muturi should be on his way out. Why? Because he's an ally of Gachagua. Therefore, what happened is this. JB Muturi calculated his moves and was far much ahead of William Ruto and his team. He checked around and realized that the statement that can help him, put him in a position that is able to also get the people's favor, is by making the statement he made. He asked about abduction. Remember, JB Muturi is one of the victims of abductions. Why am I saying so? His son was abducted while he was serving in the cabinet. By then he was an attorney general serving in the Security Council of the government. So therefore, his son was abducted, did not get answers. He cried just like any other parent in this country. So therefore, and actually we associated his move with Rigathi Gachagwa's problems. It is true, because Rigathi Gachagua came out to speak about that. And that's the time we realized that these people are together. And that's the time we knew very well that the statement that Rigathi Gachagua was making, the statement that he made, was in support of JB Muturi. And he's the only government person who spoke about it. So, JB Muturi had to calculate his moves and ensure that he's ahead of William Ruto. So, in any case, they are going to bring any motion, either impeachment, either removal of office by resignation, forceful resignation, or in any other thing, or reshuffle, JB Muturi will be very clear that to the public that he was moved from job, or he has resigned, or he has done this and that, simply because he stood against the abductions of this country. Smart as a politician. He did the best thing. So he has simply left. He will leave the government as a soldier, because that's basically going to happen. That is one of the reasons as to why I feel strongly that JB Muturi made the statement. The second one is that also JB Muturi is also going to join Rigathi Gachagwa's movement. Remember, Rigathi Gachagua is aligning his people. He's not going to have elections like nominations or anything of that kind. Most of the parts. Itungati is going to be specific. The governor of Embu is JB Muturi. The governors of Laikipia is this person, is Ketu Aruguru. The governors of Nyandarua is this one. The MP of this region is that. That is it. So as he's aligning his team, he's going to bring in JB Muturi, particularly to go for Embu seat. And that means very well, if JB Muturi is going for Embu seat, it's going to not be easier. He has to sacrifice the 3-year monthly salary he was going to receive from William Ruto, and then join the people and later on get billions in control. Basically, that is going to happen. So the future political ambitions of JB Muturi have determined whether he's quitting government or not. And if he finishes this year successfully, well and good. But if he does not, is automatically joining the Itungati, which is about to make their statement or its statement at the end of this month or the beginning of February, as Rigathi Gachagua has always insinuated. So therefore, this is a well-calculated move. The other statement that was made, an activity that has happened in this country that personally touched me, is the resignation of the government, the head of the CEO of government delivery. That means the gentleman from Nakuru is probably eyeing to become the Nakuru governor, because Lee Kinyanjui is already curbed by William Ruto. He has joined in William Ruto's camp. So this gentleman has decided to resign and go back and join Itungati, simply because he has not been able to deliver in his mandate, because every time he wants to do that, it is not allowed. And yet he's the CEO. How do you expect the CEO to perform if you don't take his recommendations? So it was very clear that he's basically resigning. He can resign because of failure of the environment, of failure to get the environment for him to perform, and also because of the Itungati that is going to take effect in the mountain region. The mountain has already moved on from William Ruto, and it's not going to come back. That one we know very well. That's why William Ruto is worried. So therefore, this gentleman was smart enough to look at the future, say that I need to join Itungati and get to the ground, or else I'll also lose the favor. Now, he's going back to Nakuru, and probably Nakuru is going to win the seat, because if you check what is happening, Cross, we have Kihika, she's not doing well, and people really, if she's a friend of William Ruto, it's done. Unless she also joins the same league. It's done. So he had to calculate and move forward to go back to Nakuru. I don't know what's your take as far as these movements are concerned, but let me see you in the comment section. Please tell me what you think. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment, because that's the best support you can always give this channel.